How are you tracking your wins at work? This is something which, if you're not doing, you need to start doing. And if you are doing it, you're probably starting to reap the rewards of tracking your wins. So, we've all been in the situation where you see that little calendar event appear that says annual review. It fills some people with joy, I'm sure, and it fills some people with fear. And by tracking your wins, you're more likely to feel less dread and a little bit more joy and know what you're going into that meeting with. The worst thing you can do, I think, when you turn up to an annual review is have absolutely no idea of what's happened the last year. People are going to ask you, so what's been your highlights? What challenges have you faced? And today we're talking about highlights and wins. But if you sit there and go blank, it's not going to look good. It's not going to work for you. So this is part of my Notion tracker, part of my dashboard that I look at daily. And there's a whole deep dive that we're going to do on this over lots of videos, but talking about achievements and valued moments. Now, there is a little bit of a difference between these, which is subtle but important. When it comes to achievements, this is things which, if you can, align those achievements to your goals. Chances are you will set goals, if not in your annual review, in a meeting with your manager as a follow-up to that annual review. You'll know what you're striving for, what you need to tick off, what you need to do to get that next promotion, to get that job title that you're after, to get that pay rise. Valued moments are not necessarily tied to goals. In fact, they probably shouldn't be tied to goals at all. These are things which will happen throughout your work day or your work life, which make you feel like a valued member of the team. This is so important because, yes, goals are good, goals are important, goals are going to help you track your progress. If you're not feeling valued, it's going to be incredibly difficult for you to stay motivated and even want to work towards those goals in the first place. So, how I track these is on my dashboard, my Notion dashboard. And I literally have this tracker where I'm tracking lots of different things, which again, we'll go into in a different video. But if anything happens where I'm like, I've done that and I've received praise, or even if you haven't received praise, to be honest, sometimes you're not going to, get it in here. Super simple, jot it down. And the same with the valued moments, get it onto paper, or in this case, into your dashboard. Because then what I like to do is come back to this and you can decide the frequency that works best for you. I went through a phase of doing this weekly because I was like basically hyperfixating on it, if I'm honest. But you can also look at it perhaps monthly or quarterly, and definitely before your annual review, or perhaps you have them every 6 months. Adapt this, make it work for you. But then you can see and you can also identify what is going on for you at work right now. Let's say you've got 6 key areas that your goals are tied to. If you're noticing that you're getting a lot of achievements ticked off relating to 5 of them, but there's one that has got absolutely nothing next to it in this dashboard, you know that's a place for you to start seeking out opportunities within the workplace. Is there something that you can do where you're maybe more involved in that area? Do you need to talk to somebody? Is there a meeting that you can start being in? Is there an action that you can do? Or is it something else? Maybe there's actually a bit more clarity needed around it, which is why you haven't been ticking off any of these achievements so far. This is why it's so valuable, because if you're not taking that moment to reflect and you turn up at your annual review in a good mood, like, I'm here to get a promotion, and they're like, actually, you haven't tackled this, or this, nobody's going to be coming out that meeting feeling particularly happy, I expect. So use this to your advantage. When it comes to feeling valued, this can also tie to wins, because let's say you win a client pitch, or the company that you're working for wins an award, or you get great feedback. All of these little things are wins in themselves, but like I said, less goal focused. This is, are people nice to you at work? Do they appreciate the time and the effort that you're putting in? Do you feel like your opinion is heard? Are you listened to in meetings? Do people respect your opinion? Is there space for your ideas at the table? It's very easy sometimes to skip over these things. And to be honest, if you're in a good workplace, you can start to take it for granted. But again, really important to recognize when you're feeling valued, because Occasionally, unfortunately, sometimes you might have a bad day at work. Might be something a client said, someone at work has said, might just have been a terrible commute, which has ruined the vibe for the day. This is why you keep those valued moments, because you can look through and again reflect what's happening here, what am I enjoying, what am I getting out of this, and hopefully you'll have a nice long list of things. And I also then like to kind of do a deep dive and spot themes, spot patterns. This can also be great going into your annual review, because if there is something that you feel you get a lot of value from, or a type of experience or a type of work that afterwards you feel really good about, perhaps that's something that you want to go into more. You want to do more of that going forward. So it just opens lots of possibilities. Likewise, if you notice that you're not tracking a lot of valued moments, not just because the hyperfixation has ended and you stop using the dashboard, me, but it's really important to identify why, what's missing. I do have, as part of this dashboard, a negative moments tracker, which I'll do another video on, because I always think that deserves being talked about kind of as its own thing. But if you are not feeling valued at work, okay, like I said, everyone's going to have a bad day here and there, and you're going to feel a bit rubbish, and you'll be like, oh, or like on a Sunday night, oh, it's Monday tomorrow, I don't really feel like that. Sure, that's normal. But if you're consistently not feeling valued, then something has to change. The purpose of tracking your wins at work is to ultimately make sure you're getting the best experience that you can out of that place. And ultimately, it's a great way of identifying exactly what needs to change or what areas need improvement to make your life better, easier, and more enjoyable when it comes to work.